sisters all pay respects to one another together.
So how is everybody? So how is the weather in Singapore?
It's pretty hot, but it rains almost every day. So when it rains, it's very wet. But it's about 30 something degrees. So I think compared to Thailand, it's still a bit cooler than the weather you have in Thailand.
40.
It's too terrible.
So how many people? How many people are there? Is Holland there?
I think, 11 people.
11 people. It's getting less and less. I mean, we can stop it now then, yeah? People are not any more interested. They have too much worries, yeah?
They're all outside traveling.
What?
Yeah, on? Maybe they're all having holidays outside traveling.
Weekend holiday.
So how is the, I mean, the people from Europe, I'm really interested. How do they feel, how is the atmosphere there? I mean, Romania or, or Holland or Netherlands, whatever you call it.
Very angry, a lot of conflict.
That's what I gather, also, from France, Yeah, so we have to learn how to deal with the anger, not putting the anger outside, but looking in ourselves what causes the anger. I mean, when we do, for instance, body investigation, I mean, it is one thing, body investigation is one thing to bring up displeasant feeling, angry feelings, and so on, to learn how to deal with anger. When we learn how do we learn how to deal with anger? If we had some investigation into pain, when there's pain, when we sit, and there are painful feelings, and the painful feelings become stronger and stronger, so that we cannot concentrate on the Buddha or on the breath anymore, then we start to investigate painful feelings. The first thing is we have to accept pain, and then we have to ask ourselves, what is pain? How does it feel, pain? I mean, let the whole body experience the pain, and we know the experience of pain. And then we ask, where is the pain actually? Is it in the skin? Is it in the bones? Is it in the sinews? Is it in the muscles? Is it in the flesh? Because since we are born, we have all these faculties. We have the sinews, we have the muscles, we have the flesh, we have the bones, we have the skin. So where actually is the pain? Because we know when we get up, the pain is gone. That is very different if we cut ourselves, then, if we walk, if we stand, the pain is always there. But the pain in sitting meditation, where is it coming from? And when we are adapt, to investigating pain, then we can investigate any kind of feelings. So the first thing is to accept the feeling. Be it sadness, be it, despair, be it anger, or be it lust, we want to feel it, and that means we have to accept it, and it is unpleasant, Most of the time it is very unpleasant, or even restlessness, I mean, it is very unpleasant feeling. So we have to stay with it, accept it, and then we look, for the source of it. What caused, what caused this feeling? So that means what came before the feeling of anger, or what came before the feeling of frustration, or what came before? What kind of thought? What kind of memories? Or what kind of, what kind of sensation, triggered it? And what came before that, and before that, and before that? We have to unravel, We have to unravel these kind of things. Just like we unravel, when we see an avalanche, we roll the snow back, so until we see, what caused the avalanche. Huh? And then we find the stone, and then we know this caused it. And for anger, it is mostly, it is mostly due to our views and our opinions. Huh? Somebody does something, that is not in accordance with our views. Somebody, says something to us that is not in accordance with our views and with our opinion of ourselves. And that's why we get angry. Yeah? And that's why we also defend ourselves. So see this. Yeah? Anger is not caused by other people. It is not caused by the government. It is not caused by our family members. It's not caused by our loved ones. Yeah? It is not caused by our relatives. And it is not caused by our boss or situation or colleagues or whatever. It is within our heart. Just like any kind of feeling arises within our heart. And this is something that we have to understand. Because if we want to overcome the dissatisfaction, for instance with anger, when we feel the anger, and we can ask ourselves, why am I doing this to myself? Because I'm doing it. It's not somebody else who causes the anger, it's me who causes the anger. Why am I doing this to myself? This is something we should be aware of. It is not the others. The others, our sights, our sensations, might trigger a memory or might trigger, a thought that will cause this anger or will cause this dissatisfaction. And we have to look out, and see. Because then, once we see, the stone that causes the avalanche, we can pull it out and there is no avalanche. There is no anger. Or there is no dissatisfaction, or there is no boredom, or there is no restlessness, or there is no lust. But it takes us really down into investigation, and it takes us, or it needs samadhi, or it needs sati. We need to be able to focus on the thing, to focus and to trail it back. So we need concentration. We need the concentration to trail it back, to where it's coming from. Nobody of us, when he sees an open fire, puts his hand in and sees how it is burning. Everybody will withdraw it. But for us, the fire, that burns our heart, we always look outside. We look, what is the cause of our fire, and then we see a shadow there, and then we say, this shadow is the cause of our fire. Now we have to turn our view from outside towards inside, and then we see, And once we see, what is the cause of our fire, we don't even have to say it, We don't have to say anything. We see it, we understand it, and we let it go. The heart lets it go, not the mind, It is like, that's why I use the simile of a little child, whose hand is on the fire, but it always looks outside. Now we tell the child, to look where his hand is, you don't have to tell the child, to pull back the hand. It will automatically do. Once it sees where the real cause of the fire is, it will retract automatically. And that is, that is the work of the heart. We cannot tell the heart to let go, because it doesn't know this it doesn't know this command, We can tell the mind to let go, not to give in to, but we cannot tell the heart. The heart needs to understand what it is doing, and once it sees what it is doing and it is harmful to itself, it will let go on its own accord. This is something that we really do have to understand. Is it a little bit clear or what? And for samadhi, it's the same thing. We need to train samadhi. We cannot let go of our anchor that we have. The anchor, be it the Buddha or be it the breath around the tip of the nose. We cannot let go. And no matter what, no matter how quiet it is or no matter how pleasant it is, we should not go on to the feeling that arises because of our meditation, but stay with the object of meditation, and the object of meditation for samatha is the Buddha or is the breath. So whenever there's a nice feeling coming, we go to this nice feeling, and then the samadhi is gone. Yeah? The concentration is gone. Yeah? That is not the purpose of samatha. Samatha, is the purpose, to stay with the anchor until we enter one-pointedness. Yeah? And then there is no anchor, or there is no person who observes the anchor, because the person who observes the anchor and the anchor itself merges into one. Yeah? And one-pointedness is a preview of nibbana. And without sati, we cannot do really investigation. Yeah? We cannot, because our mind constantly goes out, it doesn't have a fixed point. Yeah? For investigation, we have to stay also, focus on the same point, and ask questions. Yeah? Okay, how does it feel, anger? Yeah, is it pleasant? Is it unpleasant? Yeah. Why am I doing this to myself? So you stay with the anger, or you stay with the feeling of the anger, and then you ask what came before, what caused, what was before the anger arises, because the anger is just like everything, anicca, impermanent. It arises and ceases, it arises and ceases, and arises and ceases. Just like every feeling arises and ceases, just like every thought arises and ceases. It has no intrinsic value. Memories, it arises and ceases. And the Lord Buddha told us, they are even not us. They don't even belong to us. It's anatta. It doesn't belong to me. Whatever arises and ceases doesn't belong to me. Use these principles, and get down into samadhi. And it is important, especially now where the world is really in turmoil, everywhere. Okay, is this more or less understood?
Can I ask a question? You always say investigation or samadhi.
Yeah.
I get them mixed up.
Yeah.
For me, investigation can lead to samadhi. Is that okay?
Investigation can lead to samadhi, yeah?
But that's
Wisdom, yeah, but this is the last step, then you're gone.
Not that.
If you really do, if you really do investigation, it happens, sometimes, when you're really on the point, then it goes into samadhi, but only the moment you understood it. Then the mind lets go, just like I described it. Then the mind lets go of it, the investigation, it has understood it, it lets go and enters samadhi, What is the trick of the kilesas? We investigate and we think we understand, and it becomes clear, or the mind gets calm, because investigation is also concentration. And then it tricks us into going to samadhi, and we should not let that happen. Then we should stick, As long as you have not understood what the investigation is about, you should stick with the investigation, if you happen to enter upachara samadhi, then you cannot do any more investigation. That is clear. But you don't end up in upachara samadhi,
Then keep investigating.
Then you still go investigating, So, there are two ways, the deeper the investigation is, you can end up in appana samadhi, where everything just completely disappears, because you really push through, or you end up in upachara samadhi, where the mind completely gets stable, And in upachara samadhi, there's no thought, no memory. So, how can you do investigation? But the kilesas love to fool us. Okay, understood? So, questions from the people in the world?
Hi, John. Okay, so it was like you tuned into my mind with that talk, and it kind of led into some recent practice that I was doing from what you told me last time, where I'm treating the fight as too much of a fight. It is a fight, but it's not a fight. And this made me remember something that I learned when I was learning how to box. The instructors would tell me I was too tight. And I could be faster, stronger than my opponent, but if I'm tired by the third round, they could just punch me and I can't defend myself. And so I applied this to my meditation, and I said, okay, in what aspects can I lessen my tenseness? So I completely shifted my practice. Instead of Asubha or Maranasati, I was seeing things as the 4 elements, because Asubha was creating too much aversion. So I switched it to earth, water, wind, and I just saw it in equanimity, not as a complete opposite of lust. And then there was this centering that happened. So I said, okay, but then there's this evil Ajahn in my mind, you know, like an evil version of a Mahabua or a Martin, and he's telling me, you need to practice harder. You should go back to Asubha. But then there's another one. There's a good one in my mind who's like, no, it's clearly not working. Shift your practice to what's working. So instead of mindfulness of death, I focus on the Brahmaviharas, and I start doing metta and equanimity and compassion, and I start entering into Samadhi even better. And so, but there's always this, you're being lazy, you're not working hard enough. But I really started not listening to him. And I was even laying down, and I could enter in Samadhi laying down. But then there's this Ajahn, it's like, no, you're being lazy, you're going to fall asleep. And so I completely challenged the opposite of what I've been doing for the past year. And almost to a certain extent, the less that I practice, it's impossible for me not to not practice. The Dhamma is always watching. I don't know how to describe it, but it's always there. And it's always watching, it's always observing, it's always seeing things. But the less that I practice, I'm actually practicing better. So it sounds completely counterintuitive, and everything in my mind is screaming I'm being lazy, but my citta is like, no, this is exactly right. And almost to a certain extent, I don't know why I'm asking you, because I feel like I need to trust myself more, and I need to have more confidence in my ability to come up with solutions on my own, you know, because I'm not always going to have someone there to guide me. So I guess the question I'm trying to ask you is, you know, I feel like I'm figuring it out, and I just want some extra, maybe yes or maybe no, or I don't know if that question was clear.
Yeah, I completely understand you, yeah? But there's a slight problem, yeah? There's a slight problem. That's what you think the citta tells you, yeah, is actually what the kilesas are telling you. It is very observable. Yeah? And it happens to everyone. Everyone who comes here, and meditates for 10, 12 or 14 hours, says it is too tough, it's too tough. When I wait, and I don't get into Samadhi, I cannot do investigation. Yeah? When I'm at home and practice, and lie down and relax and practice, I can so easily get into Samadhi. You don't see the tip of the iceberg if you do not practice, practice continuously. Yeah? Yes, of course, you should relax, yeah. You should not be tense, just like with your boxing experience, if you're too tense, you won't get anything, yeah. But you have this tendency, you probably have this tendency, of pushing for results. And this you have to let go. Your interest should be your result. No, there's no result. Your interest should be, am I with my Buddha, or am I with my breath or not? Yeah? And do I know how the breath is at this moment or not? Yeah? But this pushing for results, I want to get into Samadhi, I want to achieve this, I want to achieve that. That is what we were trained as Westerners, yeah, to get results, yeah. And this we have to let go. And that is very difficult for most of us, yeah, because of course we want results, we want to have a nice, yeah. And yes, of course, sometimes, yes, you can relax, yeah, but then also exert your effort, yeah, but not effort, in trying to push things, trying to observe things. Okay, I want to know. Okay, I want to know. Okay, I want to know how the breath is now at this moment. Okay, I want to know how the Buddha is at this moment. Yeah? And what you said in the beginning is, it is very interesting for me to hear, yeah? I mean, when you do Asubha, you know, all these angry thoughts are coming up, yeah? Of course, then you need to do that. But do it, you know, do it leisurely, yeah? Don't push yourself too much, you know, but do it, you know, for 30 minutes or 40 minutes, you know, once a day, yeah? That's enough, yeah? To see, that's where the anger comes up, yeah? And as long as the anger comes up, you have not overcome anger yet.
I would be anagami then. Yeah, of course. Yes. Okay.
So you understand what I'm saying, yeah?
Oh, 100%. 100%. Yes. It's very clear. And that was why I asked you. Because part of me was like, I think the classes are tricking me. I think they're really trying to be... But there's truth. It's a good argument, though. They have some... Because they can't lie to you without a little bit of truth. Yeah. There has to be a little bit of truth for it to be convincing.
Yes.
Right?
And that is the relaxing point, yeah? The truth of it is not to push, yeah? Just to be, yeah? That is the truth of the kilesas.
I always know when I find good Dhamma because I laugh or I cry. So I'm laughing now, so it's good. It's good. Thank you so much.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, other questions?
Yeah. And you ask a question.
So, Ajahn, can I ask you? So the mind is the wisdom, and the heart is the citta. So where is the correlation of the two?
Now, the citta, within the citta there is the mind, yeah? It's a part of the citta. The mind is a part of the citta. What we normally call the mind is the rational aspect of that heart, yeah? I mean, the citta and heart are pretty much similar, yeah? The same thing, yeah? And the emotional thing is also a part of the citta. So both things are part of the citta, yeah? Just like your sati is part of the citta, wisdom is part of the citta, yeah? Samadhi is part of the citta. So it is the essence, you know, from where, you know, it is the soil where all these flowers grow. You understand?
Hi. So I have been trying to follow your previous advice about practicing Samadhi, and you recommended to stay around the tip of my nose and try to catch the moment when in-breath turns to out-breath and the other way around.
Mm-hmm.
So when I breathe out and breathe in, there's a break between it.
Yes.
So it's more easy for me to stay with it, to see the out-breath going to in-breath. Mm-hmm. But the other way around, it goes quite fast, so it's more harder for me to see it.
Yeah.
But it helps me to keep interested in the breath. So I really see, it becomes more easy to stay with it, and I see improvement with that. Mm. But then I'm trying, because I want to see it so well, I'm trying to control it a bit. And when I'm aware of me being, me trying to control it, I can be aware of the breath again, and actually I can stay with the breath more easy. And sometimes I see a thought being there again, and then I see I'm more quicker to get back to the breath more easy and stay longer with it. So for that I see improvement. But then after a while, it goes well for a while, and then later I start to get drowsy a bit, and then I get lost in thought for a while, and then suddenly I notice again that I was lost longer than before. Mm-hmm. And then I think, I have to focus on my breath again, and then I start to control it again, and then I'm aware of controlling it again, and then it goes well for a while, and then I get drowsy, and then it goes a bit again and again. So do you have any advice for me on that? And am I practicing even right, or should I change something?
Normally, you're practicing correctly. What is happening, yeah? The moment the mind, yeah, you will see, yeah, before the drowsiness. Next time, the drowsiness start, yeah, reflect what came before. What kind of thought? There's probably the thought, I want to go to sleep, yeah. The moment the mind, we are trained like this, yeah. We go to bed and we fall asleep, yeah, because the mind gets calm, yeah. We can't fall asleep if we are worried, yeah. If we think a lot and if we memorize a lot, then we can't go to sleep, yeah. So what is happening in the state of samadhi? The moment the mind gets calm, it automatically goes to sleep, and it announces it. Yeah? That when we have the sati, we see the announcement of the kilesas, I go to sleep, yeah? And that is shifting into drowsiness and then later, into daydreaming and whatever it is, yeah? So catch this thought and say, no, I don't want. Yeah? And you have to be a little bit more aware, yeah, of how the breath is, yeah? Not only this point, yeah, but also see, is the in-breath longer, is the out-breath longer, or what is it, is it rough or is it detailed, yeah? Get more developed, more this knowingness of the breath, yeah? Look at the point, that keeps your interest, but then also look at the breath itself, how is the breath, yeah?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, yeah?
And
yeah?
Well, I know you talk about seeing pain or cut out the body and stuff like that, but I'm not sure when I could be focused on that, because right now I just focused on practicing samadhi. Actually, I want that to be right first before I can do the next step. Sometimes when I'm in pain for too long, I try to see it, but I think my samadhi is not well enough yet to really
not necessary. Normally, this investigation of the body is only for people who intensely, practice, yeah? They practice 8 hours or 10 hours a day, and then they start, practicing also Asubha practice. But what you can do while you're in this world, yeah, is reflecting about birth, old age, sickness and death. Remember the years when you learned to walk? Remember the years when you went to school, or when you learned to walk, when you learned to talk, yeah? And then you can look at your parents, when they get older, how the body is feeling, that the body gets weaker and weaker, and then maybe you have some grandma, that died or is close to death, yeah? So you can see the cycle of birth, old age, yeah, sickness and death, yeah. That is always a good reflection, yeah. You don't have to dive into the body, yeah. The body gets older, the body is young, it is strong. You're educated for 18 years, yeah. You learn, you learn to walk, you learn to talk, you learn to think, you learn to write, you learn to read, yeah. And until you're 18, yeah, then you can use the body full strength, yeah. And then you can use it for how many years? For 30 years or for 35 years or maybe 40 years, but it diminishes strength. And then, it slowly decays and decays until you die. That is human life, yeah. The more clearer we see this, the cycle of the human, yeah, of the human life, yeah, the more what is there for us, yeah? What is in there for us? We have to train this body for 20 years, we can use it for 30 years, and we have to wait for death for 40 years, yeah? Is it really worthwhile? And all the dukkha that you have within your life, huh? Just think about this, yeah? And there you don't need so much samadhi. Think about this, yeah? And also do the daily reflection, I'm talking often about it, yeah? That is very helpful, yeah? What happened, yeah? How do the dreams, yeah? When I wake up, sometimes wake up with a dream, that is really predominant. How does this dream, change my whole mood, of the day? Or how this thought, that I have in the morning, changed, or colored my day, yeah? When you wake up and you are very happy, the day is normally quite happy, yeah? Huh? But when you wake up, then the day goes, yeah? Look at these things, this is, no, body investigation don't even bother about it yet, yeah? Do this, do these reflections, about birth, death, old age, and sickness, yeah? There are so many people you see, who are sick, sometimes, it's even helpful to go to a hospital, and see all these, they are not happy there, yeah? And sooner or later we get sick, yeah? We have a short sickness or long sickness. You saw it with COVID, people, got sick, yeah? But that is, you see it every year with the flu. It's nothing different. Okay?
Thank you. So I have my last short question.
Okay.
I will come to Thailand in June.
Yeah?
I would like to stay with you like the first week of June.
Yeah?
But I just wanted to make sure you are there, or are you at the temple by then?
The first, I just go to Singapore for a few days, and I have nothing else planned, for this year, so I will be there. Stay as long as you, can, yeah? Not just for a week.
Yeah, it will be just for a week, unfortunately, for now.
Okay. Yeah, the 1st of June, there's Magha Puja Day, on the 3rd of June, I will be there. Okay?
Yeah, thank you.
Chung Yang? Yeah. Good afternoon or good evening. I have a question. I'm just new to meditation. So we talk about, we want to watch the breath in and breath out for us to so-called, this is the meditation object, and then we just want to get Samadhi, right? And then just now we also talk about, let's say when we feel pain, we want to do reflection or investigation. So my question is, how do we know that, let's say we have already, let's say, get to a certain level of calmness that we can start doing investigation, or, whenever we have certain feeling, we just go straight into the investigation. So it's like between the calmness and investigation, how do we sort of like
in the in the beginning, you do the reflection or the it's not investigation of birth and death and old age, yeah? You can do that anytime, yeah? But any other investigation for the moment, skip it, until you really settled into Samadhi. So you observe the breath. If you think a lot, and I assume that you think a lot, use the word putto, 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 yeah? Because then it is much clearer, if the Buddha is gone, you are in thoughts, then just pull it back, yeah? Be gently, yeah? But firm with pulling it back, yeah? Until you get to a level where there is no more thoughts are coming and there's no more memories coming, yeah? That's called Upachara Samadhi. Yeah? Okay. And that will take, I can guarantee you that will take long time. Yeah? So you have to remember, yeah? Learning to meditate is like learning to walk or learning to talk. We get up and we fall over. We get up and fall over. But where is our patience and where is our effort in getting up again? And that is the same thing with meditation. We go back to our object of meditation. That is the Buddha, or that is the breath around the tip of the nose. Okay?
Okay.
So it will take time, because it is very similar to learning to walk or learning to talk. We try, and we fail, and then we try it again until we can. Yeah? So don't put yourself under pressure, just bring it back, yeah? You tell yourself, okay, for 30 minutes I will be with the Buddha, next time I will be with the breath, or with breathing in and or with breathing out, yeah?
Okay. So how, then the next question is, then how do we know that we are really progressing, or
if you can,
in this case, if we can
yeah,
stay with the long period?
yeah, if you can stay, yeah, if you can stay in Samadhi, yeah, that means if there are for 15 minutes or 10 or 15 minutes, no thoughts and no memories coming up, yeah, you're completely stable on the object. You, every instance, every second or millisecond, how the breath is at that moment. Then, after the meditation session, then you can go into investigation. But it will take you probably a year before you can even, go there. Yeah. So don't even worry about it. Yeah.
Thank you, Ajahn.
And same for you. What is the name of the Chinese? Huh?
My Chinese name is English name
Taiyong. Taiyong. Yeah. So it's the same for you, just practice putu, 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 putu. Yeah?
Yeah.
More questions? Sani?
Yeah. I think there's no more questions online. Maybe I just read the one question submitted.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. No one? Okay. So this is the question. How do you deal or interact with people who demonstrate that they have a lot of unscrupulous behavior traits? I know you mentioned to just watch things like they are just a movie. I still get upset and feel like my personal boundaries are not being acknowledged for my mental well-being. How do I examine and deal with manipulative people correctly? Do I just accept it as my karma and stay quiet about the matter? Thank you, Ajahn Martin.
What was the essence of the question?
How to examine and deal with manipulative people correctly? Do you just accept it as your karma and stay quiet about it?
That would be the best way, yeah. But then also, also see how manipulative you are. Because what you see in other people, you think other people manipulate you, yeah? So you have the same tendency within you, yeah? So then look in your heart, where is your manipulative tendency? How you manipulate other people, yeah? I mean, I often said it, also in the last talk, yeah? I mean, the world is a mirror of ourselves, yeah? Whenever we see somebody, we see, yeah? I mean, of course, if you have good sati, you can see the other person nearly clearly, but we don't have so much sati. We don't have, we have a lot of kilesas that color, yeah? And whatever we see is the color that comes out of our heart, yeah? So when we see somebody is manipulative or somebody is aggressive, it is coming from our own heart. We see our own tendencies, yeah? Maybe they are not as strong as the other person, but they are there. So root it out, and then, when you rooted it out, for instance, this manipulative, or this aggression, you will have compassion for this person. Then you have overcome it. I know it's a long time, a long way. Huh? Huh? Okay? Do you think it's clear?
Yeah.
So that was only one question, or what?
Yeah, only one question. Well said. Hector, go ahead.
It's probably, it's like my brain, when it is too hot, it doesn't work, yeah?
I had one more question.
Yeah, okay.
Real quick. When you speak of apana and upajara, are you specifically, in regards to the suttas, are you referring specifically to the fourth jhana when you're speaking? Because it's only in the fourth jhana that the body will go numb, right? In the first three jhanas, the body just feels pleasure.
And it is similar, it's not the same. Because the fourth jhana is still a rupa jhana, there is this, there is this stillness of the body. In apana samadhi, there's nothing. There's just one-pointedness. But the experience of the fourth, of the fourth jhana and Appana Samadhi is similar, but in the fourth jhana you still have an object. So you still have an observer, you still have an object.
Yes.
Yeah. And that is also, when you go to the fifth jhana, you still have an object. Yeah. In Appana Samadhi, you don't have it. It is one-pointed. Object and observer become one, and there's nothing you can say about it. But about the fourth jhana, you can say something about it. Yeah. About the fifth jhana, you can also say something about it. Yeah. I mean, the body is becoming infinite. Yeah. I mean, it is a feeling. It is an experience. Yeah. Or that in the fourth jhana, what is it? It is stillness, absolutely stillness. Yeah. But it's still a feeling. It's an experience. Yeah. In Appana Samadhi, there's no experience, yeah? Because there's nobody that experiences something. There's just oneness. Okay?
That's the ninth jhana. That's the station of perception and feeling is what you're doing.
No, even in the eighth jhana. Now, what is he talking about? It's not the ninth jhana. Yeah? The eighth jhana is neither perception nor non-perception. I mean, it is very intense, but it's still there. There's something still there. There is something still there. It is neither, you don't perceive anything, but it is non-perceiving at the same time. Yeah? So there are no more concepts. Yeah, I mean the concepts are gone. I mean in the body becomes infinitive, or the space becomes infinitive. There is still a concept of the space infinite. Yeah, or consciousness infinite. Yeah? What is the seventh? I forgot about the seventh jhana. But the eighth jhana, yeah. No, Appana Samadhi is nothing, actually. Yeah, it's just knowingness, pure knowingness that doesn't have objects that it knows. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, I understand. Yes.
Just get in there and then you know. But it takes a long time. So, no more questions? So do you have any questions?
Yeah, no questions.
Online, no questions, or Sunny?
Yeah, no questions here.
Okay, let's read a few questions. Also very short, please. Not half a book.
So this is in response to a question that has been asked a long time ago, where Ajahn told this person to look into his heart, I think.
Yeah.
Kind of. And now he has a question. I have only the experience of observing the mind or thought process and observe how the thoughts slow down as one becomes more relaxed in accordance with breathing or Buddha. Does looking into the heart entail a literal method? Yeah, should I envision looking into the heart as an organ, or is it more of a metaphor for observing my defilements? Sorry if I can't frame it.
No. I mean, the question is quite valid. Yeah. When I talk about the heart, it is never the physical heart. It's always the citta. I sometimes use heart and sometimes I use citta. Yeah. In Thai, when you want to be specific, you use chittai. Yeah. But if you want to specifically be, just the citta, just the underlying citta, then use just citta. Yeah? So it will drop. I mean, he has to experience. When he goes into samadhi, when he is around the tip of the nose, when he does the anapanasati and is around at the tip of the nose, and the more he knows the breath, yeah, the less becomes the feeling of the breath going in and the breath going out, and the knowing part becomes stronger. But then what is happening is automatically, you don't push it, automatically the knowingness returns to where the knowingness is coming from, and it is coming from the heart, or it's coming from the citta. Yeah? And then it goes there. Yeah? And then the citta, yeah? From the citta he has then two points. Yeah? I mean, one is the concentration. He still concentrates around the tip of the nose because it has not been unified yet. And the knowingness, and then he knows what is going on in the heart. So he knows if there's an intention to think, he knows is there intention to memory, so he knows these things because the knowingness dropped into the heart. Yeah? Don't push it, I mean, it gets confusing, yeah? But there's one thing, where we can actually, focus on the citta itself when we listen to a Dhamma talk. Yeah? That's where we go with our focus really there. Between the physical heart and the lungs, there's the citta. Yeah? That's where we go there. Yeah? And just listen. Yeah? When we listen to a talk, we don't want to understand what the person is saying. We just want to listen to every word that comes out. Yeah? And before it actually enters our ears, it comes out of the citta. And that's where we grab hold of it. Yeah? And if we can do that, we understand much better, much clearer, much deeper the Dhamma that is taught to us. Yeah? Unless it is Dhamma from the scriptures, then of course, we cannot. Yeah? It is impossible, at least for me, it is impossible to listen to a Dhamma talk that doesn't come out of the heart, but comes out of the scriptures. I just listened today to a Dhamma talk. Yeah? It's from the scriptures, and then automatically my attention goes to the mind to process, these words. Yeah. But when Lungta Mahabua gave a talk, I just could listen, with my heart, and understand, even if I didn't understand the language. Okay, so that's the only exception, Don't. Normally in Samadhi you don't push it. Next.
If there are no thoughts in the mind that the heart has to deal with, are you able to free and empty your heart? Is this the purpose of meditation?
No. That is making, yeah? We're trying to make the heart free. We cannot make the heart free. Yeah? We can just concentrate, and the more we concentrate, not on the heart, or not on the citta, we concentrate on our object of meditation. And it becomes more and more clearer. Yeah? And the citta becomes more and more empty. Yeah? If there is no thoughts, yeah, there's still even if there are no thoughts, yeah, and there are no memories coming up, it is pure experience, yeah. We are actually in reality, yeah. There's a lot of experience, yeah. There's feelings, there's experience, there's sensations and so on, yeah. And we just stay with these reality experiences instead of making something up what the experience is, yeah. What we normally do, we experience our touch, and then we say touch, pleasant, unpleasant, yeah. But in this world of Samadhi, we just experience the touch as touch, yeah, or as a sensation, yeah. So this is the world of reality. The heart is not empty. Oh, you have to wait a long time until the heart is empty. Okay, next.
So this is a question on the How to Asubha video. Why don't you use chemical castration instead of this complex and dubious technique?
Chemical?
Castration.
I don't even know what chemical castration is.
You just take chemicals and castrate.
You don't have the hormones that trigger lust and that type of thing anymore. So why do all of this body investigation when you could just cut off?
I said it in the beginning of the talk. We do Asubha practice to bring up these unpleasant feelings, to bring up anger, to be able to learn how to deal with anger. Yeah? With chemical substration, I have no idea what it is. We probably don't even get to it. Yeah. So that is the whole purpose. Yeah. The Asubha practice is the practice to overcome greed and hatred. Yeah. In the beginning, we use the hatred. We look at the ugliness or the loathsomeness of the body to bring up these unpleasant feelings or to bring up this anger. Yeah. And why we do it, actually, we don't feel the anger, but when we come out of the investigation, we are very irritated. Yeah. And whenever something, and then we stumble over root, and we curse ourselves and so on. There you see the irritation coming up after our investigation. And the purpose of it is to learn how to deal with greed and hatred. Yeah. Sooner or later, we go to the pleasant things, and then investigate. But to investigate the pleasant things is much more difficult than to investigate the unpleasant feelings. Yeah. I mean, when you sit in Samadhi and there's a pleasant feeling arising, I mean, we just go off, you know, and we can spend hours in this pleasant, yeah? But when there's unpleasant situation like pain, you know, I mean, 5 minutes, you know, we can't deal, yeah? We can't deal with it anymore, yeah? So that is the purpose of Asubha, yeah? Next.
Namaste, Venerable Ajahn and monks. I have a question. I usually donate 10% of my salary, but I feel like I have money and I want to donate 50% of my salary. But it feels like a little bit painful to do that. Is it more merit if it feels a little bit painful when giving, or should I keep donating with ease and comfort my 10%? Thank you.
This is really very difficult to answer, you know. I mean, maybe go to 20%, you know, if you feel, you know, I mean, I'm taking something away from me, then of course it is more meritorious. Yeah? If I can give, you know, 10% of my salary, you know, with ease, you know, and I don't feel anything, you know, it doesn't cut off, you know, me from anything that I want to, then it is more meritorious, you know, if we cut a little bit, yeah, so that we cannot that we cannot, you know, do everything that we want, you know. We still can do some things that we want, you know, but, you know, because of the money of more donation, you know, I mean, we can do less, yeah. So that is helpful, yeah. But 50%, I mean, yeah, unless he's a millionaire, a billionaire. I think he understands, you know.
I'm not sure. Sorry.
What?
It's just...
You don't understand what I said?
No, I think we understand, but he might not, it's a special person.
Yeah, I mean, if it hurts, you know, if it hurts, yeah, if I give 15%, you know, and I cannot afford, you know, my new car, you know, I mean, then, you know, then it is more meritorious, yeah, because I cut myself, I refuse myself, you know, for buying the luxury car, and then go just back to a very simple car, yeah. But instead, you know, I give the other thing, you know, to somebody who is in need of it, yeah. That is meritorious, yeah. If I don't feel anything, if I give away and don't feel anything, I mean, it doesn't reduce my greed, yeah. Then it is still bun, it is still merit, you know, but it is not as meritorious as if we reduce our own wishes, yeah. Okay, so anyway, we understand. Hopefully he understands. Last one, huh?
Second to last, but the other one is kind of... And so I've been meditating on and off for the last few years. It's much more intensely for 1 or 2 hours daily in the last 6 months, mostly focusing on the breath cessation or body scanning. A few weeks ago, I started having intense energy tremors, PT ? Through my body, usually spine, head, legs. As my focus becomes very intense and single-pointed, the tremors get very strong and they switch to a lying position, so sometimes they become even quite violent and they distract their focus of meditation. Is there anything they can do to tone down these muscle spasms and to help me progress in my practice? This is new territory. Thank you.
It is probably that we force too much, yeah. We force too much our attention on the breath, yeah? That these energetic, you know, things, you know, can disturb ourselves. Yeah? I mean, relax, yeah. Don't control yourself too much. Relax a little bit, yeah. Tell yourself relax, yeah. When it is relaxed, you continue with your breath meditation, yeah. And then piti is something that is very pleasant. It can be, you know, it can be a lot of energetic, yeah. It can be go through the whole body, but it is very pleasant, yeah. I mean, you don't write any problems about, you know, having too much piti, yeah. So, piti, yeah, it is an energy, you know, that is very pleasant. Yeah? But what he's talking about that seems to be very unpleasant, that means he's used too much force, you know. So relax a little bit. It's what the woman from Netherlands said, you know. I mean, she gets to control. We are all control freaks. Yeah, we want to control. Yeah, I mean, we never used to control the breath. Yeah, but the moment we concentrate on the breath, we want to control it. Yeah, whatever we focus on, we want to control it. We want to, yeah. And this we have to, over time, we have to let go. So, last question. And then I have to ask Sani something about the trip.
In the suttas it is said that nibbana is unborn, unbecome, unbound, and unfabricated. Are the ways nibbana is pointed towards with these words exhaustive, or are there other ways to explain it? If so, what are they?
What are there other?
She wants other adjectives for nibbana. I don't know. To be clear, not ways that are not pointed out in the suttas, but through personal experience.
Well, whatever, I mean, whatever people, use an adjective, the Lord Buddha said one thing, I mean, the fire is extinguished. Yeah? The fire of lust, the fire of greed, the fire of delusion is extinguished. Yeah? If there's no fire, there's coolness. Yeah? You can call it coolness, you can call it anything, yeah? You can call it the unborn, but that, what is the unborn, yeah? You can call it the absolute, the ultimate. I mean, he called it the ultimate happiness, the supreme happiness. Yeah? But we have a tendency. We hear words and we understand something, and another person understands something else. Yeah. So that's why it is useless, to use words for nibbana. It is one-pointedness. It is where past and future are one. Yeah. You can't make sense of it, because every word that we use for describing nibbana comes from the duality. Nibbana is unity. Nibbana is one-pointedness, or one point, yeah, where everything, that happens in duality, comes from this unity. Get there? I mean, tell him, or I can tell him, go into Appana Samadhi. If you go into Appana Samadhi, this is your preview of Nibbana, and then you can attribute whatever you want to it. Yeah? Also, it is just a preview, I mean, it is quite clear. Yeah? And I can promise you, in the moment you come out of this preview, yeah, of Appana Samadhi, the first thought that arises is, I want to go back. Yeah? But you can't. Okay, so all the questions, yeah, from our sides, from your sides, yeah. If any more questions have arisen, I mean, please feel free to ask. Otherwise, I need to ask. Yeah.
I ask you, you've been in Singapore and giving talks.
Sorry?
When you are in Singapore, are you giving talks again?
Why don't you ask Sunny?
Welcome to Singapore, Ajahn.
Hopefully I arrive there. Yeah? What?
Hopefully you come back.
I don't know. I mean, we have to.
You'll be in good health, Ajahn.
I mean, my life can be over, in 1 minute, yeah? I mean, I can have a stroke and die, yeah? I mean, especially with the seat, yeah? So, I mean, even now I'm very healthy, yeah? What was it, when I was in Australia, I had, 4 minor strokes, yeah? In that year. It was the heat that caused the first one. And then I went over. What?
Literal heat stroke.
No, blood vessel popped up. That's a very interesting one. Once your brain is not working, it's an absolutely interesting experience, yeah? Nothing is working, yeah? You can't use the body, the body is completely useless, yeah? Huh? You see it? There are quite a few interesting experiences, no? If you're not afraid, you're not dying. If you're afraid, of course, you don't see the experience, you don't get the full experience, yeah? You just, what is happening? Okay, so practice well, use the time wisely, yeah? That's all what I can say. I gave a short talk, yeah? Exception, a short talk in the beginning, yeah? You had your questions, we had our questions, so I wish you a very nice time, and some of you I will see in Singapore. Okay?
Thank you, Ajahn. Yep. Yeah.
Thank you,
Let's
Ajahn.
all stood Ajahn together. Bow. Thank you, Ajahn. Thank you, everyone.
You're welcome.
Sadhu, 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 Ajahn. Thank you, everyone.
So there are no questions here, no? No? Okay. Oh, today was short. Always remember, it's not the situation, it's not the other person, it's me. Yeah? Don't blame anybody. Blame yourself.
And I have a question regarding that. So I remember the manipulativeness that was mentioned. Could we say then that we paint our own sunglasses and then wear them and then see the world through those sunglasses that we ourselves have painted? Basically, we see manipulativeness because we know how to identify it. But everything else that's good or bad, we don't see. Even if I'm hit in the head, but if I don't have the rock painted in my sunglasses, I won't.
It depends on how strong your painting is. Yeah. If your painting is not so strong, you might see other characteristics that are not of your painting. But for most people, they just see their own painting. I normally use it, the citta is being a slide projector. Yeah? And it projects its light onto other people or onto situations. Yeah? And when you ever see a picture, projected onto a person, I mean, sometimes you run in front of a slide projector, you really don't see this person. That's why I like this example, yeah? Because it is very, yeah?
Would it also be true to say, sometimes I see something good or bad in somebody else, and if it's in me, then I don't like it or I feel bad about it, or if it's not something that I have a problem with, like I'm okay with it, I just see it. It's like I don't have that
that's
kind
okay.
of,
Then you don't have it within you, because normally when we see something that we don't like, I mean, there's a sort of irritation coming up or anger coming up, yeah? But if we are okay with it, then that means, there's nothing in our heart that corresponds to it, yeah? If we see something good, we like it, and it's sometimes a reminder we should maybe develop this faculty within us. But we might have it, but it is not as strong as we see it in the other person.
And the same for something which you see which is bad in another person.
Yeah.
It doesn't trigger you, then it's not something that you, I mean, not that, I'm not saying...
It's something that we have within us, and it is very difficult to admit to it.
But that means you can never ever see unwholesome things in another person?
Yes, only if you have overcome it and you react with metta towards it. But if it gets irritation, if you have irritation, that means it's still within you. Yeah? Okay? Then end the session, yeah? ยกมานี่เข้าใจหมดเหรอนิดหน่อย Okay